Today we are going to talk about how to scale and how to manage when you have larger teams. So what does scaling mean and how do you organize larger teams when you are building complex product for larger enterprises? As I mentioned, I'm an Agile coach, a safe practice consultant, and IC Agile accredited trainer, and also PMA ATP instructor. I've been with the industry for 25 years in various different roles. And right now, I work as a consultant, help organizations with their agile transformation, their safe implementation, their digital transformation. I'm part of Agilemania. We at Agilemania help organizations with their digital transformation. We are a group of consultants, agile coaches, and transformation coaches. And the things we do, we help organizations with their digital transformation. We collaborate to design change management frameworks. We also closely work with Fortune 500 companies for the past 10 years, and we have helped them understand the dynamics in the IT industry. Little bit about our offerings. What do we do? Business agility, team agility. We also help organizations with their building their agile teams, helping them with their training needs and leadership coaching. We also coach the executives who are part of the transformation. Okay, bringing in a change in the culture in the organization. And we also provide a lot of trainings from Scrum.org. We are partners with Scrum.org. We have some excellent PSTs who teach PSM, Advanced PSM, PSPO, Advanced PSPO, and all these courses that you see. We are also the official authorized training partners of PMI. We teach PMI SCP, PMP, CAPM, and we are also partnered with Scaled Agile, offer various courses, training courses from Scaled Agile. Coming to today's agenda, we'll be talking about what are agile teams, what does scaling mean, what does scaling mean, and what are the challenges of scaling, and how do you overcome those challenges? How do you organize these larger teams when you are building complex products? And we'll also talk about organizing around value. Now we'll discuss what are value streams and how do you organize around value. And we'll talk about team topologies, reducing the cognitive load on the developers while working on complex products. So starting with Agile team. Now, Agile teams, what is so special? Now, why everybody is talking about Agile teams? Now we hear about bionic teams. So Agile teams, they are cross-functional, which is important. Self-managed, they are feature teams. That means they are not organized around different verticals. They are not component teams. Rather, they build a complete working product, piece of product, no matter how small. And they are collaborative. They create stories, analyze, develop, test, and deploy. They deliver. Agile teams deliver frequently and iteratively. Usually, a small number of people, 5 to 11. They have these specific roles like Scrum Masters, product owners, and developers. Okay. And whenever we are talking about self-managed, the teams, there's no manager to manage the task, to allocate tasks or tell them what to do, how to do, but rather they self-organize. They manage among themselves, and Scrum Master acts as a facilitator, if required, a coach, a mentor, but this team takes their own decisions. And cross-functional, instead of organized around different verticals like a team of testers or developers or system analysts, a team of UX experts, what we are saying is the team has all the skills to build a working piece of product. It could be software, it could be anything, a product, a working piece of product. So that's why we call them cross-functional. And it's good to have, it doesn't cross-functional doesn't mean that one person can do everything. It's as a team, we have all the skills to build a working piece of product. But it's also good to have T-shaped skills. Whenever we say T-shaped, means we have a depth in one particular skill, but we also have generalizing skills. Right? I might be a .NET developer, okay, So I have .NET skills, okay, but I can also do some testing work, QA work. I can also do some DBA work. Okay. It's good to have T-shaped skills in the team. So having a depth of expertise in one area and a generalized skills in different areas. And we're also talking about self-organizing. They know when their sprint planning is. They don't wait for Scrum Master to start their daily Scrum. They know that it happens every day at 9 o'clock at the same place. Yeah. They are self-organized. And unlike the traditional waterfall or the plan-driven approach or predictive approach, where we plan everything, we design everything, we develop everything, and try to release the entire product at one go. So instead of that, they deliver iteratively. What we are saying is deliver early, a working piece of product, and on top of that, build your next increment. Build iteratively, deliver early and deliver often. So that's the characteristics of uh, agile teams. But when we're talking about growth, so have you heard about scaling agile? What does come to your mind when you talk about scaling agile?
Satyajit, I have worked in an agile team which is very short, consisting of a maximum 10 to 12 people in total, including all the roles. It was a Scrum based project, but I haven't worked on a scaled agile as such, consisting of multiple such teams.
Hmm. But what comes to your mind? So again, will
Flexibility and iterative approach.
yeah, no, but when it comes to scaling, okay, when you when we talk about scaling agile, when we are talking about scaling, when you have multiple agile teams working together, you have 6, 7 teams working together for with a common goal. Say, for example, we are building a mobile app. Now, you cannot possibly build a mobile app with 1 or 2 Scrum teams, okay, or Agile teams. So for that, you need more number of people, more teams working in different areas, different functionalities. So multiple Agile teams working with a common goal, and there are a lot of dependency between these teams. And usually, such teams, such larger teams, are geographically distributed. Hundreds of developers. We are talking about 10, 8, 10 teams working for the same app or same product. Okay. Multiple functions. You have hardware, you have software, you have uh, compliances, regulations, cybersecurity with multiple stakeholders. You have a sales team, marketing team, all involved. Okay. So you have your legal compliances, okay, and we are trying to build a complex system. That is when we use the term scaling agile. So building a complex enterprise level product. Now imagine you have hundreds of developers with so many stakeholders from business uh, coming together to develop the app with so many dependencies. Now, what could be the challenges when you are talking about scaling agile? Now, when you have multiple teams, but all with a common goal. Now, what do you think could be the challenges? Yes, all these are valid challenges. The common challenges that we see is alignment. Are all the 100 developers aligned to the same goal, same vision? When you're working with smaller teams, it's much easier to have an alignment. But when you have 10 different agile teams, how do you ensure that everybody is aligned to the common goal? Collaboration, communication, collaboration, dependency management. How do you manage the dependencies, the functional dependencies, the technical dependencies? Okay. How do you manage the scope? Okay. Manage the requirements. Now, Scrum said one product backlog, one product owner. Now, when you are talking about 10 different teams coming together, one product owner cannot possibly manage everything. And common technical guidelines. Do we all have the same engineering practices? Okay. Same coding standards? What if we have handling exception handling framework? Now, team 1 says because we are self-managed, we'll use the built-in .NET exception handling framework. Team 2 says we'll use an open source technology. Team 3 says no, we'll use a third-party library. Imagine within the same app, you have multiple ways of handling exceptions. We need a common technical guideline. Executive view of the progress. How do we know that all the 10 teams are progressing well, not towards a common goal? Integration of code. When all the 10 teams are writing code, they need to integrate. Who will ensure that we have a working product after the integration of the code? Who will ensure that we are not breaking the build? Who will ensure that we are not breaking the functionality? So that's why we need the scaling frameworks. When you are transitioning or when you are scaling up from small teams to larger teams, we need to address these challenges, and that's why we need different. And when it comes to scaling, the most commonly used framework, the scaled agile framework. According to the 15th State of Agile report, 37% of organizations who are scaling are using scaled agile framework, SAFe. So that's why the most popular framework when it comes to scaling in the industry is SAFe. Now, but what is SAFe? So before we talk about any theories, let's see how SAFe is solving some of our problems. So what we do is when we have multiple teams, so 5 to 12 teams, what we do is we bring them together to form a virtual organization. A virtual organization which is aligned to a common vision through a common backlog. They are cross-functional. Now we build this team of teams which is organized around value. We'll talk about value streams. And they follow a common cadence and synchronize. Synchronization was another challenges that we explored. They synchronize. So we call it the Agile release stream. Agile release stream, it is a team of teams, which contains 5 to 12 teams, 50 to 125 plus individuals, synchronized on a common cadence called PI, and aligned to a common backlog called, it's not program backlog, it used to be program backlog earlier, and now we call it the art backlog. And it is organized around value streams. And this art is cross-functional, and they have some specialty roles called release train engineer, product management, system architect, and business owner. So let's see how these roles fit in. So here we have multiple Scrum teams or Agile teams. So when you have this 5 to 12 teams, you bring them together and form your team of teams. And we introduce some new roles, let's say product management, who's going to manage the scope at the team of teams level, who's going to closely work with all the product owners, and the product management manages a backlog called the art backlog, and who is closely working with the product owners. And then we introduce a new role called release train engineer, who's the Scrum master for this team of teams. We can call this person as the chief Scrum master. And this chief Scrum master or RTE is going to closely work with all the Scrum masters. And we have another role called system architect, who is going to provide the technical guidance to the team of teams. The common frameworks to use, the engineering practices to follow, the tools to use, who's going to closely work with all the developers, all the development team, who will ensure that the technical alignment is present within the team of teams. And we introduce a new team called a system team. Okay. And the system team could be a combination of DevOps engineers, test automation engineers. They are going to create and maintain the CI/CD pipeline. They'll run some automation scripts. They will ensure that the integration is successful and we have a working product after the integration from all the 10 teams. And we have a new role called a business owner, who is an important stakeholder for this team of teams. Who could be the sponsor of this team of teams? Who is looking at what kind of value this team of teams is producing? Is it aligned with the customer's needs? Is it aligned with the organization's vision? They are the important stakeholders. They take part in various different events at the team of teams level. And this team of teams is known as the ARC, which is a virtual organization of 5 to 125 plus individuals, organized around value streams. Again, why 125? There is something called a Dunbar number, which is 150. A scholar who did a lot of research, and then he said human can have a working relationship only with 150 people. In the ancient times, more than 150, they go and set up another village. So that is Dunbar number, and that's why SAFe has taken some inspiration from there and then saying limit your art to around 125, 130 people. So this is the basic configuration of SAFe. There are other configurations also. So, but this is the basic configuration of SAFe with a team of teams, which is nothing but the Agile release train. Okay. And they follow a cadence called a PI, where they plan together and they deliver together, and they follow a cadence and synchronize. That means they start on the same day, finish on the same day. But when you say organize around value streams, so what's a value stream? And what does organize around value mean? Again, SAFe has taken some concepts from a book called Accelerate, written by Potter, Dr. Potter, who is a transformation specialist, who is also author of best-selling books. So in that book, Accelerate, he talks about challenges modern organizations face. Okay. How do they start, and then how do they grow, and then how they build a structure, okay, and what challenges they face. So what we do is, instead of reading that book, we will watch a small video which summarizes what he has written in that book.
Hello, I'm John Cotter, and I'm here to talk to you about winning in a faster and faster moving world. A world where more threats are coming at us from all kinds of different unpredictable directions, but also in which there are more windows of opportunity, opening and closing faster than ever. I am convinced that we've crossed a line in which the old methods that we've used to deal with this no longer work. And I want to talk to you briefly about what seems to work in this faster and faster moving world. To understand this, I found you need to understand how organizations naturally evolve over time and how that has gotten us to where we are now. All organizations start with a structure that kind of looks like a dynamic solar system or a molecule. Their advantage is that they can be very, very fast, very agile. They can run around existing competition. They start with a set of entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter if they're trying to make a new type of microchip or a new type of chocolate chip cookie. They attract people who work on various initiatives. It could be anything, playing around with crazy ideas, talking to customers, doing things with alloys. And they can drop those initiatives and start new ones. If they're successful, though, they have to be able to make and ship a product or deliver a service. And as soon as that happens, you start to see growing something that we would recognize. It looks more like a hierarchy. It has jobs, it has processes, and if they continue to be successful, of course, it's that part that has to grow. And it grows, and for a brief time, you've got both systems that tend to be hooked together well because of the entrepreneurs who play a part in both, and sometimes the old-timers that have jobs over at one side and they're still in that entrepreneurial system. But as successful as they are, you know what part grows, and it grows. And at a certain point, it doesn't like the old entrepreneurial, unpredictable whipping around system, and so it systematically eliminates it. And you end up with what we all know, a typical modern organization. Now, in a slow enough moving world, that can work fine, and it does. But as the world starts to speed up, it doesn't. And so what smart people do is they augment it. They add strategic planning committees. They hire strategic consultants. They put together interdepartmental task forces or project management organizations to first create and then to execute strategies. And if this is done well, it works up to a point. But as the world speeds up more and more, it doesn't. So they continue along this same path. It happens naturally. You add another committee, you add work streams, you add more strategy pieces, and after a while, all of this addition actually slows you down, and the whole thing starts to sink into the muck, which obviously does not win today. It raises the question of what could win today, and actually, you just saw it a minute ago. Now, let's rewind the tape. Okay, start there and go back. Go back some more. Now stop. There it is. Something that can be reliable and efficient now, and can be fast and agile in helping you maneuver through this faster moving environment. It creates more wealth, better products and services, a terrific place to work, and perhaps most importantly, profitable growth. That raises the logical question of, can you create that and get those results? And the answer is yes, we've proven it. A set of processes and procedures and methods can take you from wherever you're at, and you start growing that entrepreneurial piece from the center on out in an organic way. You keep the two pieces connected in a very solid way, and you end up with this mechanism that can be both reliable, efficient, fast, and agile, and win today. Here's the bad news. How many organizations have succeeded in doing that? About 0.001%. Really, seriously. Here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. You can change. You can create what's needed. And when is the time to do that? No question. It's now.
Most of the organizations, they start small. Most of the startups who are more customer centric, who can maneuver through those changes according to the market demand. Okay? And as and when they are successful, the hierarchy is built. Because we need jobs, we need people managers, we need different departments, we need HR, we need admin, we need IT, we need finance, we need legal, okay? We need people managers, we need a structure. Okay? So what he says is, let's not get rid of the hierarchy. If we need it for efficiency and stability. So what we need is, out of this hierarchical network, we need to grow an entrepreneurial network, which is organized around development value streams, which is more customer centric. And our agile release streams are those customer centric network built from the hierarchy, and they are organized around value streams. Now, what are value streams? When you say value streams, we keep hearing about this, right? Value streams. Now, value stream is the series of steps. It looks like a very fancy word, but value stream it's a series of steps that an organization takes to deliver value to a customer from the ideation stage. As simple as you go to Pizza Hut, and then you look at the menu, you finalize the menu, you pay for the item, and a token is generated. The token is given to the chef. The chef starts preparing your pizza. Once the pizza is ready, somebody will pack it for you and hand it over to you. That's a simple value stream. Now, if you look at a little complex value stream, now if you let's take an example of consumer loan value stream in a bank. So we have a business opportunity. We have an idea or a concept or a business opportunity. People need loan. There is a loan need. And we can deliver the value for the organization or for the customers once the repayment happens with interest. So now these are the different steps that the organization takes or the customer takes in order to get the value. So the organization, as a bank, first we need to do is we need to attract customers. There's a first step. And then we can, once people come in to understand more about the offer, we can provide a quick rate quote. Now, if they are interested, they apply online for that loan and they complete loan application. And once they have furnished all the details, the bank is going to check for eligibility, whether this person is eligible for this loan amount. And then once this person is eligible, the bank extends the loan term and then disperses the loan amount. And the customer also has to pay it back. So set up payment process, and then they start repaying the money. And once all the money is repaid, the principal plus interest, the loan is closed. So the customer also got the value, and the organization, the bank as an organization also got principal plus interest. Now this is a typical what we call as operational value stream. And we need different systems, solutions in order to make these steps possible. First is we need a channel system which can do some online, offline, social media ads, Google AdWords, campaigns to generate leads, to attract customers. And for the customers to be able to apply online and provide quick rate quote, we can build a loan origination system. And to check whether this person is eligible or not, the bank has to build a credit scoring system. In India, we check the CIBIL score. In US, we check the credit scores. Look at whether this person has a constant flow of income, whether this person can repay. And then anything to do with money, extending the loan terms, avoiding the loan, setting up the payment process, repaying the money, all through the core banking solution. And we need these 4 different solutions in order to make this value stream possible. And we might have, so this is a value stream, and we might have different people, different teams, and from different departments, different functions, from different streams in the hierarchical network, working on these different solutions. Maybe we have a team of 80 people in US and around 230 people in India, Bangalore and Delhi, working on the channels and loan origination system. We have 30 people from Estonia working on the credit scoring system. We have another 80 people from Chicago who are working on core banking, and we have another 120 people from Hyderabad, India, working on the core banking system. So now these different teams, they come from different hierarchy. They might have their own people manager, and they might be working in silos. There could be a lot of dependency between core banking and credit scoring. The release cycles might be different. The development cycles might be different. And these people, they might not be coordinating so much because they work in silos. The credit scoring system team and then loan origination system team. So now what we do is we identify the people who are building those solutions in a larger enterprise for different value streams, and then we bring them together to form our agile release streams. So they together they come and they plan, they design, they develop, and then deploy. They build solutions and deploy solutions. So they are working on the loan application, entire loan application development value stream. And here we are talking about a core banking development value stream. So we bring the team from Chicago and India together and form our Agile release team. They plan together, they build together. If there are any changes in the core banking, they can move through those changes or implement those changes faster. So that's development value stream. And we are talking about organizing around value. But whenever we are talking about an art, like an Agile team, the art should also be cross-functional. So here we are talking about an art should also be cross-functional. But how do we make this art cross-functional? Because an art should also have all the skills like hardware, software, quality testing, compliance. In a larger complex system where there are hundreds of developers, multiple different technologies, there could be some legacy system, there could be some new technologies which we are trying out. When you have a developer in such system, the cognitive load on the developer is quite high. It is beautifully explained in a book called Team Topologies, written by Matthew Skelton and Manuel Pace. There is also a website called teamtopologies.com. They say when we have a lot of technologies involved in a complex system. Now, if you have ever worked on any financial applications, their core finance processing is still done in legacy system, which is written in AS400 or mainframe. All these financial applications, they might have upgraded their front end, their middleware, but their core processing is still done in systems written in AS400 mainframe. Now, I am a .NET developer. You cannot expect me to work on that legacy system or learn those legacy systems. So, say for example, this is a mainframe, and a lot of times as an Agile team, I need to integrate this. Maybe it will be an overkill to have a mainframe specialist in all the Agile teams. So that is why. So considering all these different situations, the book Team Topologies explained different teams within a team of teams to reduce the cognitive load on the developers. So first is the stream aligned teams. They are nothing but the Agile teams or the Scrum teams. They work on the business functionality and then they deliver value independently. Stream aligned teams are nothing but the Agile teams. So they are organized around the flow of work, deliver a continuous stream of value, aligned to value streams, and they are the Agile teams who are empowered, customer-centric, cross-functional. The Scrum teams or the Agile teams, they understand the customer, they apply design thinking, they have the built-in Agile practices to deliver the right quality of the product, and they apply continuous improvement practices and respond to customer needs. And second is we have the complicated system team. So here, they are trained specialists of those AS400 or COBOL or mainframe. They don't work on any new functionality, new value, but rather they are helping the other teams with their expertise. Whenever Agile Team 1 has some work to integrate with the mainframe, they come and do the job. So they are organized around specific subsystems. They develop appropriate interfaces, build, maintain, and support the complicated subsystem. They plan and prioritize effectively. They collaborate with the stream aligned teams or the Agile teams. And we have another team called the platform team, which is working with the architect to build the architecture so that others can consume it. Maybe the security framework, the data APIs, the payment framework. So they reduce the stream aligned teams or the Agile teams' cognitive load. A technology or compounding platform is a set of services that the stream aligned teams can access, typically via a set of self-service APIs. And the focus of the platform team is to build the architecture, and they closely collaborate with the system architect. And we have another team called the enabling team, which is for any new technology. Now, say for example, we are moving away from manual testing to test automation. And we already have 20, 30 manual testers in the Agile release team. Now, we cannot possibly fire all the manual testers and hire 20, 25 test automation engineers. Instead, what we do is we identify if anybody has expertise in test automation, any new technology, and or we hire 2, 3 people, and then we kind of form a temporary center of excellence. And these 3, 4 folks are going to train the other manual testers on test automation. So they are still part of the Agile teams, but maybe they take 2, 3 hours out every week, train the others to bring others up to speed on new technology. They are part of the Agile teams, stream-aligned teams, and form a virtual team. And they help the other teams acquire missing capabilities, but it is primarily on new technologies. And it's a virtual team. Once everybody is acquainted with the new technology, we dissolve this team. Maybe after some time there is a need to learn some other new technology. Then you form another virtual team and another enabling team. So that's the team topologies. That's how we organize our Agile release team. Stream-aligned teams, they are nothing but the Agile teams or the Scrum teams. And we have enabling team, which is, as you see, it is dotted. That is enabling, temporary. Once everybody is, test automation is an example that I gave. When everybody is proficient with test automation, we dissolve this team. And maybe, if there is a need to learn any new technology, we'll form another enabling team. Complicated subsystem team, they are specialized in usually some legacy systems. And platform team, they build the architecture, they build the platform for others to consume. So that's how we should organize our art. First is we organize the art around value streams. We identify the value streams, we identify the solutions that are needed to enable the value stream. Then we organize our art, form our art, and within that art, we need to take care of the team topologies in order to reduce the cognitive load on the developers. That's how you can be successful when you are building complex products with large number of teams coming together. So these are some of those concepts SAFe provides in order to be successful when you are scaling Agile. Now, a little bit about SAFe, a little bit of marketing about SAFe. Why SAFe? 30% happier, more motivated employees, 50% faster time to market, 50% defect reduction, and 35% increase in productivity. And these numbers are derived from the customer stories published on scaleagile.com. And these customer stories are not written by SAFe, Scaled Agile INC. It is written by those customers themselves. So that's about team topologies and managing teams when you are scaling Agile, when you are working on complex products.
That was an excellent overview. Really, it was helping. Can you just quickly give an overview of, you went through the value streams and how those value streams are being set, from where we are driving? These are the value streams that we need to accommodate within our system. Yeah.
Every organization, be it a product organization or service organization, be it software, non-software, any organization, if you look at it, we are here to provide value to the customer in some form or other. So you already have the value stream within your organization. Whether you are a bank, whether you are a service provider, whether you are a construction company, whether you are a mining industry, every organization already has a value stream. Don't look from a particular software or application perspective. Look from why this organization exists.
Okay.
Why does IBM exist? Why does a particular airline exist? If you are working on some airline system, No, you're probably as a development manager or a develop lead or a developer, you're focusing primarily on your particular small application. But if you look the uh, at the high level, every organization exists for providing value to the customer in some form or other. Look from there,
Okay. So from the business perspective, I mean,
from the business perspective.
yeah, exactly. From the business, it is basically the various objectives of a business,
Yeah.
the
And
why for the business,
who are our customers,
who are our customers, exactly.
and what value we are providing to those customers.
That's great. Thanks, Satya.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Roa, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. I'm joining here from Germany.
Oh, nice.
Um, well, I have one question. What's the difference between these complicated subsystem teams and the value aligned teams? Like, especially if you have maybe an example from the hardware, it will be helpful.
See, uh, complicated subsystem team. Now, so when you are talking about a complex product, it is not just one technology. Now, suppose say you are developing a banking app. It is not just Java or .NET or React. There could be a lot of different technologies involved, and especially when you are talking about a complex product, there could be some legacy system which is, uh, you know, which is written probably 20, 30 years back, which is still there in your overall scheme of things. Maybe written in COBOL or AS400 or mainframe. Now, when you are working on this application, I am a developer. I was hired to do the .NET work and HTML and then some SQL. Now, once in a while, I need to integrate with the complicated subsystem team, which is complicated subsystem solution, which is written in AS400 or COBOL. Now, once in a while, I need to integrate. Now, you cannot possibly expect me to learn COBOL or AS400. Suppose say, Edgar is another developer from another team. He is a Java developer. He is working on some Java systems. Now, sometimes they also need to integrate with this AS400 system. Now, you cannot expect Edgar to understand AS400, or you cannot expect to have an AS400 specialist in all these teams. That's why what SAFE suggests is have a separate team. They are not working on any new functionality. They are not delivering value on their own, but have a specialist team of 2, 3 AS400 developers. Okay. So whenever I have some work to integrate with that complicated system or solution, they come and help me. So whenever Edgar has a need, they come and do the job. They are not working, they are just helping the others with the integration with the legacy solutions. That is complicated subsystem team within one art. But what we are saying is, how do we define an art? How do we bring in those 100 people together? By organizing them around value streams. So from the business, we were discussing what are value streams, right? So every organization is there to produce value. And in order to produce that value, what systems we need to build? Who is working on these systems? They might be in silos. Somebody might be in Germany, somebody might be in India. No, we don't have coordination, we don't have alignment, we don't foresee our dependencies, we don't know when our releases are. So what we all come together, one team from Germany, one team from India, one team from US, we come together and then we plan together, we deliver together. That is what organizing around value streams mean.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Any other questions somebody might have? While people are thinking about questions, a little bit of marketing about my company. As I said, we are tied up with a lot of these different certification bodies like Scrum.org, PMI, Scaled Agile INC. So we have great offers going on. You enroll in any Scrum.org courses, you get the PMP certification preparation training free. And similarly, you enroll in any of our Scaled Agile courses, Leading Safe, Safe POPM, Safe Scrum Master, you get the PMP certification preparation exam preparation training free. So please do visit Agilemania for any of your training needs. Good. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the interactive session. and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.